Ciao. I'm really pleased to see you here, and it's a real pleasure to see that there is people not speaking Italian today. So, where are you guys from? The one not coming from Italy? You don't look Italian? Where are you guys from? Sweden. I stayed in Malmo for a while, so I love Sweden. And you guys? China? Okay. Where exactly? Beijing. Okay. Other foreign students? You're Italian? Yeah. Ukraine? Okay. Yeah, I met you, no? I remember. Other student coming from, all the other one are coming from Italy. Where exactly in Italy? Milan is far away. China, Beijing is so close, but Milan is hours and hours of machine viewing. So welcome here in Lecco. I'm the Vice Rector of Lecco Campus, and I'm really happy that the design school joined the other two schools existing here in our campus that were engineering and architecture. Okay, so I will introduce you briefly because unfortunately I have another event on artificial intelligence here with companies on the at the second floor, so I have to be there. So I will not, unfortunately, be here for the entire day, but I'm pretty sure that my colleagues will guide you through an excellent presentation of which are the key characteristics of the course that you will follow. So we are from, you are in Polo Territoriale di Lecco. Polo Territoriale di Lecco has been founded more than 25 years ago. This building is rather new. We are here since approximately 12 years. The campus is very nice. Unfortunately, in these days we are having a bit of fog and not so much sun, but in summer it's a really nice place. And I think that especially you that are interested in design understand that staying in places that are nice also helping you having a better experience in terms of study. The teaching offer of Politecnico di Milano is unique. So what we do here in Lecco is not done elsewhere in the campus. So throughout the years, we changed from duplicating the courses that were in Milan for pure logistic choices, and we moved to offer to having a unique offer in terms of teaching in Lecco campus. So what you do here has to be done here. You cannot do it in Milan in a similar way. Lecco has always been a place for experiments. So we are small, although we are 2,000 students, we are a small campus in Politecnico. Okay, overall Politecnico has approximately 50,000 students, 2,000 of which study here. And thanks to our small size, we can do experiments well before the ones that are done in Milan. So for instance, English has been introduced as at the master level in Politecnico in 2007-2008. So it's luckily for me approximately 20 years. I was the tutor of foreign students for the master of mechanical engineering, when mechanical engineering was the first one to move into English at the master, and the experiment has been done here. Then approximately 5 years later, English has been introduced in Politecnico. So the same worth and stands for design, because your course has been the first one ever taught in English in Politecnico. Then 1 year later, they have done a couple of experiments in other two campuses. Probably within a few years, we will have a couple of extra courses in engineering, not in design, on other campuses of Lecco. So, given that we are small and we are and we can do experiments, we became unique. Together with the interaction design, that is the course for which you are here, we have a bachelor in Ingegneria della Produzione Industriale. It's in Italian and it's industrial production engineering. Then we have building and architectural engineering, that is a unique course of 5 years. Then civil engineering, and these are the bachelor. This one is a 5 years course, while for the master we have civil engineering for risk mitigation, mechanical engineering, and architectural engineering. No, not yet any course of design at the master, but we have 3 years for thinking about this. So at the moment, if you will want to continue, you will need to move to Milan at the master to go on with your study in Politecnico. So we have a 50,000 square meter campus. You have residences inside the campus. So residents are here with 200 bedrooms inside the campus, which is a pretty unique. It's rather common in many, let's say, North European or US universities, but in Italy it's not so common to have the dorms inside the campus. Approximately 2,000 students, 500 of which are not Italian, so 25% is a really good percentage, but it's even more impressive if you think that the bachelor that are the one with, let's say, higher numbers for us are still Italian. So if you check the master, approximately 50% of the masters are 50% of students are foreign. This is a presentation in which we show you the campus, but the best thing that you can do is move around the campus. Okay, so you will have a nice tour, and you will see that it's not only a place where you have technology, but it's overall a super nice place. Here you see a few images of the buildings. This is the we call it ex-maternity. I was born there, so approximately 50 years ago, this was an hospital. Okay, so I was born exactly there, and 48 years later, I became the rector the vice rector of this university. So it's a pleasure to be here. And as a maternity, we have maternity for companies, that is an incubator. Okay, so we have our university incubator there. It's a lab full of technologies that are dedicated to human. Okay, so not only we do teaching here, we are the reference area, I would say, for Lombardy, but also for Italy, for designing new technology for people. Okay, so this is it's something that not only you will be a part of a course of study, but you will be a part of a huge project in which Lombardy region is investing millions. Okay, 100 so far, but 20 millions will be invested the next year for having a larger part of the campus with another building entirely dedicated to humans, in which the part of design for us is fundamental. I go on with images, but really you can just walk around and see that the place is absolutely nice. But when it's sunny outside, it looks like being in a picnic area, not in a university campus. We have a gym inside, so you will have to study a lot. Okay, so you will spend a lot of time. You will probably have not a lot of time to think about your extra activities, but we try to force you to think at these extra activities. So we have a beautiful gym over there, it's super cheap for students, so it's very, let's say, I also go to the gym, okay, so given that I stay here approximately 12 hours per day, so just before going home, half an hour of gym, so we will meet each other probably more frequently there rather than in classroom. I was telling you we have dorms, but we have also labs. So labs are below the room, and this is also a pretty unique situation. Okay, because having the research labs at 1 minute's walking distance from the room allows you to have a different teaching experience. So not only we teach different things, but we try to teach them in a different way. So we are trying to. I'm the leader of the working group on AI in teaching in Politecnico for the School of Engineering. So I would like also to think on how to study Lecco for doing experiments in using AI in teaching. Okay, so I don't know if I will go on going to class or if there will be my avatar and I will just be beside you discussing projects and not every day writing the same equations at the blackboard. Okay, so you will be a part of a beautiful experiment if you decide to come here. Research excellence, we have 25 research labs here in Milan, so we work with companies. Lecco, you probably know Lecco for the Lake Como, which is granting approximately 12% of our local GDP. The remaining part is coming from bolts, nuts, washers, springs, and Lecco is the largest manufacturing area in the world in this field. Okay, so companies are inside, well inside Politecnico. We are the campus in which we have the highest relationship with local companies throughout all the Politecnico network. I already told you about experiments. So experiment, we were the first one to be international. We were the first one to introduce a global sport offer for our students. We were the first one to introduce a sport as a terms of research. Sport as a mean of well-being is the one for which we are getting most of the funding. And in teaching, we were the first one to introduce interaction design. That was the first bachelor in English. We have also a super nice center for leadership development. So it's an activity, it's very important for me, this one, is the one in which you will involve in volunteering actions. So with other students, with companies that come here and ask us for help. So you will understand that life is not only about studying, but also the extracurricular activities are of paramount importance for your professional growth. We have scholarships, many opportunities. So Politecnico is the only university in Italy that grants to 100% of students that have we call it diritto allo studio, that is, if your family income do not allow you to pay taxes, you may be eligible to this waive to the taxes, but if the government is not giving you money, you have to pay taxes. Okay, we are the only university that everybody that is eligible has the grant to be waived from paying fees, so tuition fees. So this is something that is very important. We believe in relationships. Okay, so being a small campus, you will have a friendly relationship with professors. Not so friendly. We are strange people. Okay, but we do whatever we can. But especially with student secretariat and things like this, they will be really there to help you. Okay, so it's a campus made of people, not made of machines. And I believe that AI will change your life, but in the end, I don't think myself coming here and have a coffee with a humanoid robot. Okay, so the relationship among people is something on which you will really have to invest. Okay, so with respect to any other online university that you can find, here you will build a relationship among students, relationship between the students and the university, and this will be what will characterize your professional life. We also do nice parties. Okay, so it's not only about studying. Okay, there was one party 1 week ago. They called me on Sunday morning saying, "Hey, your student left over a lot of beers and so on." Okay, so the party was successful. Okay, so I accepted the complaint from the neighborhood because if there was no beer, no noise, probably it was just a university lecture and not a party. So we try to organize also these extra opportunities in order to make your study life a bit more enjoyable. And parties are real party. Okay, you see here that there is many people all dancing, and I just try to be there the first half an hour, then I go away so that you can really enjoy the party. So this is that's enough for me. So I don't want to steal too much time for you. I will leave you to the closest experience that of one of your colleagues, I hope, because now he's already a student. Okay, a really good student. I hope. Me too. So I'm leaving you with his own experience. Again, I would like really to see all of you again, not only all of you, but if you have friends and so on, tell you that the Politecnico has a super friendly vice rector, and so I want to meet them. And so if all of you is bringing maybe 4 or 5 friends, we will need to change classrooms, but this is not a problem. Okay, I like building new buildings. And so I really hope to have this problem in the future. Thanks again, and good luck for your studies. Have a good day.
Okay, so hi, my name is Tommaso, and I'm a second-year student at the Bachelor Interaction Design. I will quickly talk about high school and universities, what are the differences. So basically we decided to propose this presentation talking about choices, the structure, the organization and the opportunities. Well, for the first time in your life, you may be able to choose something that you really like and that you really want to do, because anyway, I think high school are kind of general as it is supposed to be, and it is right to be, but for the first time in your life now, you are supposed to make a big choice, because it is a big choice, and we want it to be the right one, of course. Me, myself, I'm finding in the right situation, and I'm the happiest at the moment, and it's also freedom of choice. You're free to choose what you really want, because maybe when you chose your high school, if you're Italian, and I don't know how it works in your countries or wherever you come from, maybe it's different, but in Italy here, it's kind of strict what you're doing. Here, you're finally free to do yourself and pointing at your future. Then the structure, there are three kinds of degrees, so like bachelor, 3 years, +2 if you want to do the master, or some courses like the 1 year in Lecco, engineering of production, of 5 years. Sorry. What is a CFU? CFU are the way that your grades and stuff are calculated here at uni. A CFU is equal to around 25 hours of work, comprehending lessons and work and group work and study by yourself. And exams are shifted by CFUs. To get your degree, you will need to have in 3 years 180 CFU, so it is supposed to be 60 per year. Exams will have different values of CFU, so it goes usually from 5 to 12, but here at Interaction Design you will only see course of 6, which are technically supposed to be easier because the amount of work should be less, and 12. So the amount of work will be higher, of course, but maybe more entertaining. So regarding organization, now, of course, we are not talking anymore about scholar here, we are talking about academic here, so stuff works differently. You won't work in 4-month period time. I don't know how it works in your school. Anyway, like here it works with the exam session from August to September, then lectures from September to December, then between January and February another session, and then again from February to June the last lesson, and then June, July there are the exam session. So about taxes, you become responsible about your taxes. Like your parents won't be announced and won't be called. You have to organize your stuff, so be responsible for that. And also autonomy about the lectures. Of course, you don't have to come to all the lectures, but presence is highly recommended, and in design courses often mandatory. I already talked about this. Okay. You will be able to decide also when to take your exams, almost always, because just to warn you, if you didn't know, here at the design there are mandatory exams that are blocking and propedeutic. I wouldn't know how to translate it. So you will be able to take those exams that are the ones made by 12 CFU, so the most difficult one, technically. You will have the possibility to take them only during the exact session of that lecture, only with 2 attempts, and then you will basically have to stop your year and just for the next one wait to re-attend that exam and make your 6. You are still able to attend the other exam made by 6 CFU. But anyway, beside that, you are completely free to choose your path, which is called the path of the studies, that you will be able to, you will have to select every year of your academic path, beside the first year that will be made automatically by Poly. Okay, opportunities, as Marco was already saying before, here at the Poly campus, Lecco, there are many opportunities that you will be able to attend, and so being a student means also being part of something like Lecco campus. So we can talk about student association. I'm part of one. There are others. We talked about sport. There is also here at Poly, we were the first university to apply the student sport. So with the dual career, if you are an agonistic player for some teams or other stuff, you are able to still be taken consideration. And also retributive collaboration, you can work with Poly. There is this program called 200 hours in which you will be able to work with Poly and earn some money. And also very important, we have Poly Psy, so Poly psychologist. Poly is always open to listen to you for your problems and everything you need. Also Poly, of course, is open for Erasmus and other programs around the world. Like right now our course is trying to establish always more opportunities for the students to live for a semester or for more than a year. And if you have any questions, but yes, we will have time for questions also later, so don't worry. Well, we also have secretary people always available for you, and I'm done.
Good morning, everyone. I'm pleased to have you here. My name is Davide Spalazzo. I'm the coordinator of the Bachelor in Interaction Design and actually of the Master of Science in Digital Interaction Design. That is actually the master degree in continuity with the Bachelor. Over the last 3 years, actually, I've been responsible for designing this program. So I was coordinating the group of people that came out with designing this new offer that, as Professor Tarabini said before, has been the first Bachelor in English here in Polimi, and the first of design being here in Lecco. So I will try to drive you, let's say, quickly around the program, so defining the objective, talking about the structure, so the program plan, so the course that you may take if you are here. I will just go briefly around the way of entering, so the way of being admitted to that. And then, of course, I will leave the floor to the students that are now over there. So we will have 3 students from the Bachelor, 1 student from the Master, because I think that posing questions directly to those that are involved will be much more easier and rich for you than asking Professor, because we have different perspectives. So we will have, let's say, the official point of view, but actually the practical point of view. I'm sorry that the slides are in Italian, but I will speak in English. If something is not clear, of course, just raise your hand and ask. I will just introduce briefly what's the School of Design. As you probably know, Polimi has 4 different schools, and the School of Design actually is the smallest one, but eventually the strongest one, because in terms of QS ranking, we are first in Italy in terms of design. So in the QS World ranking by art and design, we are 3rd in Europe, and we are 6th in the world. And actually we are the first public university to be in this ranking, because all the others that are before us are private university. So we are moving around 5,000 students in design, while other, so for example RCA or other university, has much lower number. So of course this changes a lot in terms of quality of offer that we can have. Just to give you an overview of what is going on in Italy in terms of design, we have 21 universities that are offering courses in design. 30 years ago, actually, we were the first to introduce design as a discipline taught at the university, detaching from the architecture. But if we look at the data, we'll see that here in Polimi, we are actually preparing quite the majority of the designers that are graduates in Italy in design. So you see the numbers we are graduating. These numbers goes back to 2020, so they are not so fresh, but actually give an idea of what is going on. So we are close to 800 people that graduated in design on a total of 2,500. So it means that we are really close to 30-35% of the number of people that graduate in design in Italy. So we are, let's say, an excellence on that field. This is just an overview of what is the School of Design. So we have 5 bachelor. 4 of them are, let's say, the historical one that are taught in Italian, that are product design, communication design, interior design, and fashion design. They are in Milan. While we have interaction design, that is the course that we're talking about today, that is completely taught in English, and it's here. While at the master, we have 7 programs. 5 of them, let's say, are taught in continuity. It means that you can graduate at the bachelor, and then if you have certain level of average in terms of grades, you can directly enter. And so it's integrated product design for product design, communication design, interior spatial design, and design for the fashion system. Those courses actually offer, in the case of product, communication, and interior, courses both in Italian and in English, so you can choose how to deal with that. While in the other case, like digital interaction design, that is the other program that will follow naturally the one that you may take here, product service system design and design engineering, they are completely taught in English. So they are international masters. So for example, in the one that I coordinate, that is digital interaction design, we are hosting 100 students, 50 European and 50 extra-European, just to give you an idea of the number. But let's go a little bit more deep in the discipline. So what's interaction design? Of course, I think that if you are here, probably you already Googled that, you look for what it is, so probably you may have some ideas about that. But let's say, I would say that interaction design is about designing the interaction between humans and products and systems. Well, the system, generally speaking, are systems that embed digital technologies. So we may talk about working with completely digital system, with physical product, integrating electronics, with interfaces. So actually we are taking care of that very subtle but very, say, important relationship that nowadays we are establishing with machines. So how humans can work with this product. Our aim is that, of course, to make the user have better experience with this product. So our aim is that to make the users feel at ease in interacting with this kind of stuff. So the approach of interaction design needs to be multidisciplinary. We cannot design properly things and interaction if we don't know how the mind of our users work. So we need to teach psychology. We need to teach sociology. We need to teach ethics. Because we need to understand actually how users behave in a social behavior, how users think while integrating or interacting with this kind of product. So actually our approach, as you will see with the courses, is strongly multidisciplinary. Then of course we have a field of action that is quite wide, as I already told you. We are working with products, we are working with digital services, we are working with interiors, we are working actually with different places that may have digital technology embedded. And so we are working on that threshold between the digital and the physical space. Someone would say phygital is not a word that I like, but actually is that, integrating physical realm and digital realm in the same design activity. That actually includes and augment and increase the complexity of our design activity. What's the focus of interaction design? I already told you, is on the human being. So this course is strongly focused on the idea of human-centered design. So we are designing around humans. And again, as I was already saying, we are trying to integrate, as usually design does, aesthetics and functionality. We tend to teach our students to do things that works properly for specific users, not for everyone, but for specific users, but at the same time having an eye on the aesthetics. So we are not forming engineers, we are forming designers that need to be keen to having humans at the center, but at the same time aesthetics. So beauty actually is part of our DNA as designers here in Lombardy and in Milan and in Lecco. And then of course the focus is on human-computer interaction. So this program actually is called interaction design, but we can easily also call it human-computer interaction, because as you will see in a few seconds, we are integrating also very strong technical competence for our students. So we are mixing design competencies with informatics, with electronics, in order to have these two competencies work together. Let's see more in detail how the program is built. As Professor Tarabini already said, this has been the first program in interaction design in Italy at the bachelor level, while we established the master 10 years ago. The bachelor has been established 2 years ago and is the first in Italy. And at the moment, it is still the first in Italy. Actually, it is also one of the first in Europe, because we can count on the fingers of one hand the bachelor offered on interaction design. We are hosting 50 students, 40 coming from EU and 10 extra EU. It is completely in English. Which are the objective of the program? Probably you already got from what I was saying before, but actually is that of forming interaction designer that are actually people that are able to design, to write, to talk about an entire design project that is about artifacts that are interactive, that are based on digital technologies. So this is the main aim of the program. What we expect our graduate will do is actually to work in different contexts. That could be studios, that it could be in companies, trying to work in interdisciplinary teams. Designers, as usual, do not work alone. They work with technicians, they work with psychologists, they work with anthropologists, so they always work in teams, and we try to train our students to work in team already in every studio that we'll take in order to cope with complex issues. Actually, what the students learn to do here, they learn to design interactive multi-touch point system, that it could be hub, it could be website, it could be software, but eventually interactive physical product. They learn to prototype, so to really create by hands what they are designing and to test with users, because this is of foremost importance for us. So they also learn how to conduct user studies. They learn how to create a list of design requirements for their design, talking with users. But also they learn to cope with the social, societal, let's say, impact, the environmental impact, and eventually also the ethical implication of what they are doing. I don't have to tell you that working with digital technologies, working with data, the role that ethics can play is, of course, very important. So we are trying to train our students to have an ethical stance on that. Of course, it will be their stance, but we try to give them the instruments, let's say, the critical mind in order to understand what is right and what is not for them when we deal with digital technology. If we look in terms of job roles that we can imagine after this degree, of course, it's that of interaction designer, UX designer, UI designer, eventually information architect or designer of interactive products. So they are just names, of course, that in reality are very much blurred, but if you go to looking for jobs now on the different platform, actually you will find all these names. Usually UX designer at the moment is the one that hires a lot of students. So in particular at the master level now we have between 98 and 100 of occupancy after 6 months from the degree. It means that this field in particular in this moment is training a lot. So in particular consultancies and different companies are hiring our students before they graduate with the internship. So at the moment it is a really, really strong program that is draining a lot of talents from the university. Of course, after this program, you can eventually enroll in the directly in the master degree in digital interaction design or in other program that you may like. I will spend just a few words about the courses that you may have in the program, just to give you an overview, and probably you are also interested in knowing what you are going to study for the next 3 years if you enroll. The first year actually gives the basic theory and all the basics for dealing with complex projects. It's built of 3 studios. As Tommaso was saying before, the studios are the strongest one, the one that goes with 12 CTS. So they occupy you for 1 entire day a week. That means that you are there working with professors, designing, working in group. It's really an engaging activity where you have to develop a project. And then we have 4 that we call monographic, monodisciplinary courses that totalize 6 CTS that are more theoretical, generally speaking, and that tries to give you all the theoretical scaffolding for dealing with the project. So in the first year, we are going to theories of interaction design. You go to the history of design. You will get basics of programming and architecture of systems. These are very technical courses. You will have the basis for designing interfaces. You will know something about cognitive ergonomy. You will learn how to model in 3D and how to print in 3D. You will have information about physical computing, that means electronics, and also to prototype interactive systems. And of course, you will have also basics of designing interactive systems. If we look more specifically at the first year, this is the program. You see the first 3 are studios, 12 CFU, that means CTS, International Standard. User Interface Design Studio, that is the first studio you get in the first semester. Prototyping Studio, where you learn how to make 3D models and then to print and then to include electronics in order to make them move and do stuff. I will show you some example. And then Interaction Design Basic Studio, that is a studio where you learn how to cope with a complete, but simple of course, interactive system. And then you have Theories of Interaction Design, so if you enroll, you will find me in that course, first semesters, History of Interaction Design, of Design Interfaces, Basics of Programming, and Architecture of Embedded and Connected System. These 2 courses are offered by engineers that actually are colleagues from the Department of Engineering that actually gives you all the, let's say, hard part of interaction design. Just to give you some examples, these are projects that have been done by colleagues, probably by the guys that are over there in the last year. This comes from example for the second semester studio. They were tasked to redesign home appliances just in terms of interfaces for the elderly. And so they went interviewing elderly in order to understand what was not wrong with the design that were there. And so they came out with different solutions, testing and iterating in order to come with interfaces that were more elderly friendly. Of course, it's an exercise, it's not yet in collaboration with company. I will explain you how we collaborate with companies, but it was a first deep dive into designing an entire project coming from scratch to the final product. Or this is example, this comes from the prototyping studio, where they were tasked to design interactive, actually boxes that were modeled and 3D printed, and they have to be autonomous and they have to go in loops. So start, make an operation, and then close again the button in order to work. It's just an exercise. It was, I think, a funny exercise, and you see how they work. So, for example, this was a jukebox, for example, and the system is going to close again. Of course, for getting here, you need to have you need to have competencies in 3D design, in 3D printing, in physical computing, and in programming. So electronics and coding, because everything has been done by the students. And then an exhibition has been organized over there to show up all the projects of the students. So they are the same kind. So it was, of course, just an exercise, but that requires a long preparation in order to be able to reach out to this level of activity. So this was a little bit funnier. Oops. So second here actually is around sustainability. Sustainability is the guiding structure of the second here, but also it tries to give more scaffolding on the technical and design skills. Again, it's built up of 3 studios and 4 monographic courses. The topics I already told you are sustainability, so environmental sustainability and social sustainability, both in theory and practice. It's about designing VR, AR system. It's about getting to know something about the history of technology, but also you will get good information about statistics for data analysis, so that is training about algorithms that, for example, are related to AI, and then you will get basics of front-end programming, so for building apps, for building websites. If we go more directly to the courses, these are the 3 studios in the top. Sustainable Interaction Design Studio that is running just now in the 2nd semester, so Tommaso, Vivian and Daniele are going through these. This is taught by 2 international professors coming from Denmark. Is connected to European Erasmus Plus project. So we are working with 5 different universities on this specific training, because we are trying to train our students to think also of the sustainable impact of digital technology. So we are teaching them how to design a very, let's say, aware way of what it could be the impact of this technology. So trying to include sustainability not just in the physical realm, but eventually in the digital realm that is going to be a big, big issue. If you just consider that the number of gigawatts that the new, let's say, Elon Musk structure is using, so they are talking about nuclear plants for giving the energy to that AI-based system. So this is a huge problem for today, and we are trying already to cope in the bachelor with that. Then there's a studio that is the first semester that is called UX Design Studio, where you will learn how to deal with user studies. So this is very connected to anthropology. So you will learn how to cope with complex data that can come from users. And then there's a more technical studio that is VR, AR Design Studio, where you will learn how to design things. For example, for headset, augmented reality, virtual reality, immersive environment. That is, again, one of those fields that is slowly getting grip also in the working activity and in the different studios. And then the theoretical courses are History of Information Technology, that is done in collaboration with the Museo Nazionale of History and Science, of Science and Technology of Milan, Museo Leonardo da Vinci. Statistical Data Analysis, Sustainable Interaction Design, that is the first semester, is a seminar-based course where international professors are called here to give their point of view on sustainability and interaction design to the students. Again, this is one of those critical courses that aims to enlarge the point of view of the students, and then a technical course by our engineers on front-end development. Just to give you examples, these are normal output of the UX Design Studio, where they are designing actually flows, where they are designing requirement, where they are trained to design the right way, not to design in the right way. That is a matter of design studio, but is to design the right thing. So to come out with a design requirement for creating stuff that really cope with the problem of users, not creating unuseful gadgets. That is the risk when we work with technology and interaction design. So we are training our students really to get deep into the user needs and then to cope with them. Or another example, this comes from the VR AR studio that they just finished. This is just a footage of what they were doing in order to wear a headset. I don't know who is this project from, probably not yours. What students design actually 3D spaces and then start navigating it. Of course, this is a basic course, but they are setting the ground then for developing these skills in the future. The third here completely changed the approach. Actually, the third here has one major studio that is the one that will come in designing, let's say, the most complex exercise of the 3 years. They also are developing the project that will be the basis for their degree, while the monodisciplinary courses will be 6. So the third here is going to be a synthesis of the previous one in terms of design, but actually we'll again try to develop a critical sense in our students, and we will try also to already put them in contact with the let's say, companies that may be interested in hiring them. So they will learn how to design IoT systems, so Internet of Things system. That will be the main topic of the studio. They will have competences in terms of semiotics, ethics, and sociology. They will understand how economic sustainability works, so they will also have a specific course on economics. And then they will learn how to design when a company is involved, also respecting that kind of timing that usually is not the one that we have in normal studio. So 1 week design instead of 4 months design. And actually they will be also free to choose some discipline that they could take from the entire offer of the School of Design. So going deeply, the Interaction Design Studio is going to be the 3rd year studio where they will develop the most complex IoT system. They will have at the first semester a course of semiotics, designing interfaces without having competencies of semiotics, especially here in Italy where we have a strong, long tradition in semiotics. Could be a big mistake, let's say. Then they have a course that is about envisioning future technology, so they will learn how to imagine the future and then to come back in the present in order to design it for that future that at the moment is not the best future that we were imagining for our children and sons and daughters, but let's say we are very positive that the future will be better, so we try to envision a better world, and then we will train with ethics for them and economic sustainability. Elective courses, as I was already saying, will be offered to all the students of design, so they can take from about 70 elective courses that are offered by the entire School of Design. So they can have it there or have it in Milan or have it online. So there are a very large amount of elective courses that the School of Design is opening every day. And then there's the workshop that is one intensive design sprint that lasts 1 week with a company usually, where the company defines the briefs on the Monday morning and students have to deliver the results on Friday evening. So it's a very, let's say, dense and, let's say, difficult actually activity that will train students to cope with the timing that normally comes with a design project in a company. And then, of course, the final examination that will give the degree to our students. Just a few words about international exchanges. At the moment, we have exchanges with the university that you see here listed. Yes, you can take a photo if you want. There are 14 EU countries and 23 different partner university. So our students actually are already leaving right now, especially those that decided to leave in the second semester of the second year. Typically, the exchange happens in the second semester of the third year, because for us it's important that they take part in all the studios, while we can of course substitute the theoretical courses with those that are offered by our partner university. At the moment we are enlarging the bench of university, but as you can see here, we are already touching with a very important international university with which we have established a good relationship over here. So we are really, really happy of having already this university on board, and they are happy to send in here their students. At the first year, this year in my class, I had 18 Erasmus students from this university. 18 over 50 is already a good number. It means that this course is really attractive for international students coming in. And I hope it's going to be also good for our students to go abroad. We also decided to enter a program that is called MADES, that is Master of European Design, that is actually an elite program that just is related to those students that require to be part of that, but they have to be specific requirement in terms of average grade to access that. That, let's say, has a very specific feature. They are going to have first and second year here in Lecco, while the third year will be completely in another university abroad. The fourth year is going to be in a different university abroad, where they will come back for the fifth year, so the second of the master, in the digital interaction design, in order to make the last studios, the last exam, and get the degree. So they will get this actually Master of European Design together with this university that probably some of you already know. Some of them are really, really high in ranking, as we are, like Aalto University, in She, Keith, Deca, Konsvall in Sweden, and Glasgow in the UK. Okay, so this is another opportunity for you to enroll. We already have 2 students living for that. One is the ticket that will be there, so if you have questions, you can ask. I make it short because I know that probably you are a little bit tired. How to enter? This is a closed number program, so we're not welcoming everyone. We have limited numbers, that is close to 50. Last year, actually, we decided then to enroll more than 50 because we had someone that were eligible out of the 50, so we decided actually to take them in. So in the end, we had 63 students in. And so we have a test that is in person and that is in English, that actually aims to verify the preparation of the students. So we are aiming to have students with a good level of knowledge, and is also made to build a ranking for accessing this program. In order to enter here, you need to have a diploma, high school diploma, and at least 12 years of previous experience as a student. So it means 12 years in schools. You can enroll already if you are now in the last year of your high school. The program actually is built up of 6 questions, multiple answer. It goes for 70 minutes, and then you will have 5 possibility for 5 possible answers for each question. You will get +1 point if you do it correctly, -0.25 if you get it wrong, and 0 if you don't answer. And then, of course, you will have a total grade, and it will define the ranking. What is about actually geometry and representation, reasoning, so logics, verbal comprehension in English, history of art and history of design, and general culture. Here you get some information. So, for example, you can have some demo online of the test if you would like to be prepared for that. And these are the dates. Sorry, they are in Italian, but you will find also the website in English. So one is going to be exactly on Saturday. So probably some of you are already here because you enrolled in the test. Other will be later in March, in May 9 and 14. And these are the dates for enrolling in the test. Okay, the test is not online because I usually receive emails from prospective students asking when it will be the online test. The test is not online. The test is just in person. We just have an experience of online tests during the COVID pandemic, but actually we decided to go back to in person, also for international students, because it's the only way to really have all the students at the same level in order to participate in the test. These are the contacts. If you have administrative questions, you can refer to the Secretariat, that is Secretaria Studenti Lecco at Polimi.it. That is for administrative question. If you have instead question regarding the program and whatever you think, you can reach to me as my personal email, that is davide.spalazzo@polimi.it, or to the professor that is helping me as deputy coordinator, that is Professor Perego, paolo.perego@polimi.it, that was here some minutes ago. I don't know where he goes, but actually you can reach out to me or to him for information. I stop here. I think I will open question and answer of the program, and then I will ask the students to join. So if you have questions also from them, I will ask them to briefly present their experience, and then if you have questions also for them. So while they join, if you have specific question for the program, I'm more than available. They also set up these Mentimeter. If you are shy in raising your hand, you can write down the question here, and I will try to answer, but I think it's easier if you raise your hand, and it's easier. Any question? Please.
Because there's a lot about problem solving in the real world towards corporates. It's very impressive. And then you line them up to go work for corporates. But you also do entrepreneurship within the program. And I mean, many ideas they would like to start their own companies.
Yeah, exactly. The course that I was talking about, that is economic sustainability. I mean, the name is not properly the best one, but there's a module about entrepreneurship. So because as Professor Tarabini was saying before, there's Polyhub. Polyhub is the incubator that is also here, not just in Milan. So we are really trying to push our students to make their own, let's say, entrepreneurship activity, and also funding them, because there's a program that is Wish to Product that every year funds project by students with some amount of money and tutorship in order to build their own company. Please.
How do we go to the European offer? Is it from the beginning or when you started it?
Yeah, exactly. It's during. Also, as I was saying before, you need to have, I don't remember, then the ticket will be more, I don't remember the average, it's 28, right?
Yes.
You have to have at least 28 out of 30 as an average for enrolling. But then, of course, if you enroll, there will be a selection. So there will be a committee that is made up of professors of the different university that will select the profiles. So, yeah, at the second year. So,
The call is for the first Erasmus call of the second year. So in the January. Like in January, you need to join the call, and then there's a part of selection that you have to go through.
other question? Please.
How about internship during the 3 years or after? Does the university help to organize something?
The internship is not mandatory. For all the bachelor in design, we're not having a mandatory internship because we have 5,000 students, so it will be super heavy in terms of administrative burden to provide an internship for every bachelor students, but we have it at the master level. But they can make extracurricular internship. So usually at the bachelor, many students already have an internship while they are doing usually the second semester of the third year. They start enroll in some internship activity that may be in research center inside Polimi or with companies outside, but they are not formally part of our offer. It's extracurricular activity. It's part-time actually, but we have a career service that is in charge of the Athenaeum, not in charge of the program, that is taking care of every student that would like to make an internship extracurricular at the bachelor level. Other question? Please. No. Sorry. I don't think you will need a calculator for the told, because geometry is just the concept of geometry, but correct me because you went through that 2 years ago. No, but I don't think you will be allowed to have a calculator.
It's not allowed and not needed.
What extracurricular activity do you offer, like sport or art? I mean, if you go on Polimi website, you will find all the list of extracurricular activity, but also here on the Lecco campus, Professor Tarabini was already saying, but then I think that this question will be easily answered by them. I don't know if you want to answer on that.
Well, okay. So, as Marco was saying before, if we talk about curricular activities as we consider part in those, there are. Then, regarding the sports, there are often like Polimi organizes a lot of tournaments of like team sports. So, like, or even daily activities, like one we organized to go to play beach volley for a day here nearby, and a lot of people came and we went there. Or what else? Oh, there is the kayak. Yes. And hiking. Yes, but because many of the stuff anyway are also situated in Milan, so I think you can check everything.
There's also a program that is called Passion in Action that actually is a way of offering courses by professors that are not, let's say, those that we are asked to teach. So, for example, if a professor is very interested in, let's say, photography and is an expert of photography, can offer free courses that are usually in the evening to the students. We call that Passion in Action because it's for passion for both professors and students. But the offer is very high. The School of Design is offering something like 100 Passion in Action for 1 year. It means that if you really would like to enlarge your competence and if you are available for having, let's say, evening courses, usually they are online or they are outside the university, they are very interesting. I don't know if you're taking part in Passion in Action. Some of them are with companies because the companies say we are looking for a profile like that, so they try to offer with professors this kind of Passion in Action, so students enroll, take part, and actually out of them they could be selected for an activity, for a job, for an internship inside this company. So it's a working system, and usually our students like this Passion in Action because they are really fitting and they are out of the ministerial, let's say, rules, so they are more free and usually up to date because we can teach whatever we are dealing with in our research activity, because you know in Italian university professors are not just professors but they are mostly researchers, so it's bringing our research activity directly into teaching. Other, please. This is a super important question. Actually, they share a general objective that is that of teaching to design. But we design different stuff. So here, as I was saying, we design for, let's say, a better use of technology. While in product design, you may design products that are not digital. If you are more interested in designing this bench or chair or whatever it needs to be designed, that is more in the Italian tradition of design, like the made in Italy or for the furniture, then product design is the best choice. If you would like to design more graphic solutions, then communication design is for you. Less digital, then of course I may ask Simona to be on that because she did that program, but actually is more on the graphical side of design. So posters, typography, branding, all that stuff is communication design, but technology is not really part of that bachelor completely. It's not the focus. You get competencies of that, but it's not the focus. Interior design, I think I don't have to explain what is interior design. So you are designing not the furniture, but how to deal with spaces in order to cope with user needs on that spaces. And fashion design is a completely different program, where actually they learn how to design fashion systems or let's say wearables. So they share the same approach, but they are on different field of design. Let's say I don't know if you get it. Other question?
Can I ask a logistic question?
Sure.
Is it easy to find the room on campus, or it's practically impossible because all is fixed and
Students have a better answer.
You have to enroll on the site when you sign up for the scholarship, or you can pay, because there is two payment methods. One included in the scholarship, where they track the money from the scholarship, or you can pay separately. But you have to sign up on the website, and it's pretty difficult because the spaces are very few, and they give it to depends from the income of the family and the general GFUs and the average of the grades of the student. Instead, if once someone enter, they take the score of the test.
Yes, for the first year it's based on the score test.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, because when you enroll for the first year, they don't have anything to value on, so it will just based
For example,
on the
for
test.
me, I have the residence from this year, so from the second year, they saw my average of and the grades of my first year. Also, the GFUs, the credits. You have to have a certain amount of credits and a high average of the grades. You're welcome.
I see, before coming to you, I see a question. What about students with dyslexia? Actually, Polimi has an office that is called the Multi-Chance that is taking care of all the students with problem. Actually, what they do is to inform the professors of every student that have specific needs. So they are giving compensations, let's say, in terms of the kind of exam that you are taking. So, for example, in my case, I make a written exam as a midterm, and in that case, the students may have, say, additional time, like 30% time more, or if they have, let's say, they are dysgraphic, they can have a computer to write and not to design. I mean, the offices are taking care because they are specialists on that, so they just inform us of what we have to do in order to cope with the issues.
Two very important things. If you have a certification, it's better to give it before the administration test, the English test, because they give you some the calculator or something else to help you. And you have the compensation when you sign up for the exam. There is a page where is all the compensation, like more time, calculator, or use the PC. You check it, and it's automatically sent to the teacher, to the professor, which tool you want to use.
I think I already answered to that, so I didn't get that there was a question more. The difference with the communication design, I think, is quite evident. In communication design, they are not talking at all about product. So
there is no physical part, so the prototype part is not the main one. We focus more on branding, maybe some Figma prototypes, so UI, but not UX. There is no user experience module or courses till now.
I don't know if you wanna, who wants to share briefly, I think one of you, about the experience in the bachelor, and then I will ask you, Simona, to talk about a little bit the master, that is continuity. Once. Maso, you are always hit.
I'm the one talking. Okay, so, well, the experience of the bachelor is going. We are at the second year. There is no third year right now because the course just started. Last year we were the lab rats, let's say. So we were testing. The course, in my opinion, is going amazingly. I'm loving it. I think it always depends on the person. Like, if you really suit to the thing, I think this is the best thing you can do. Exams are all doable. We made it. We don't have any exams left behind. We're still going, hopefully. Also because anyway, like as I was saying before, labs have some, let's say, pushing about passing them. So it also helps you to like organize your life school, let's say, because anyway, not having exams left behind, I think it's a very useful and important thing during a uni career. We are doing a lot of cool stuff, to be honest. We are prototyping, we are designing website, we are learning how to program them. Starting to. Web pages, yes. I don't know what else could I say. I don't know. It's cool to have a lot of international students in the course, and
Faculty, I would say.
Yeah.
And faculty also.
Yes.
Because we have, of course, the faculty is not just Italian, of course, because it will be a little bit weird just having Italian talking English to Italian. This is a little bit weird, but actually we have international faculty with the first year and the second year. I don't know. Then I will pass to Simone, and then if you have questions to them, I think it's a good moment because they have more experience than the people.
The master. Okay, so it's going okay. Since I'm now in my second year, so I'm searching for internship and for writing my thesis. So I'm ready to end my experience at Polytechnic after 5 years. For sure, maybe the most different things from my experience in the bachelor, that is in communication design, so in Italian courses, is that there is these different approaches, because if first there is just Italian people, what I think is cool about this bachelor, and so in the master, is that I can actually interact with people that have different experience and a different approach in working. So you can actually experiment what is the world outside the university. And that's it. I don't know, maybe if you have some question, maybe it's easier for me to understand what you cannot do.
You started communication, then...
Because when I started, this bachelor doesn't exist. Because it's just 2 years old, and I started 4 years ago. I didn't have the...
It's easy to switch from communication to...
I didn't switch on it. I graduated in communication design, and then now I'm doing my master in interaction design, digital interaction design. So the master that is in Milan.
One important thing to add, that probably it comes from this misunderstanding, is that at the moment all the bachelor, so product design, interior design, communication and fashion design, are in continuity with digital interaction design. So it means that they can go from there to digital interaction design, but then when they will graduate, so from next year onward, just these will be in continuity. That said like this, it may be not relevant, but actually the digital interaction design program is the most hit one in terms of master. I was talking with the other professor before. At the moment, we have already 1,200 requests from abroad for 50 positions available. It means that we are over 1 out of 20 entering. So if you enroll in this bachelor, it means that you will automatically enter the master. But if you take communication design or other program, then it won't be any more automatic to enter in digital interaction design.
You have the preference if you start.
Yeah. It will be in continuity. Communication design will be just in communication design or product service system, and interaction design will be in digital interaction design. And so we are privileging, of course, students that have already a background in interaction design coming from this program. And so this is something that I would consider, because it's really, really hard, and Simona can testify that, to enter the program in digital interaction design. That on the one side is super good because the level of students is super high and we are very happy teaching them, so the environment is really, really amazing, and also international professors coming for having workshop, they are all, let's say, astonished by the quality of our students. On the contrary, of course, there's a big pressure for entering this program that at the moment is an excellent program in terms of occupancy and quality of teaching. So having already, let's say, a good choice to enter in this program, enrolling in the bachelor, is something that I would consider. Other question? Please.
Nice question. Okay, so may I say, obviously, respectfully about my colleagues. Many of them at the start of this course, let's say that their English was not perfect. Everything is doable, so don't worry. Like also the professor fatigues sometimes, something that we can admit, I hope, without any issues. So anyway, like the course is open, and like to understand, nothing nothing is too difficult. I think no one had ever any issues about understanding. I can understand it could be like something worrying you if you're Italians, of course, but still, like, it's perfectly doable. And anyway, if you have any doubt, many of the professors are Italian, and you can still talk to them in Italian.
And don't worry if your English is not perfect. The teacher will understand. We are not graded about how good is your English, but about the content. So if you cannot explain it perfectly well, it's fine. And if you do not understand something, you can just ask the teacher to explain you in Italian. They will. They're super nice, and so don't worry. You will learn by doing it.
Okay, and also, as they are reminding me to tell you, maybe it's very important to remember that anyway, to enroll in the course, or at least at the end of the first year, you will need to have an English certification to stay in the course.
B2 level, whatever it is, but B2 level or equivalent.
Yes.
I also remember that international students need to have an Italian certificate
At the end of the third year.
third year. That is so important.
Not from an American university, do you still need a certificate?
No.
I don't think so, but
They consider it as a certificate. Let's say that they are gonna ask you the certificate, but if you're gonna send them like coming from an American university, if you have some.
That's been in English all the
Yes.
5 years.
we have some of this condition.
Yes.
The administrative offices take care of that, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. We already had one condition from one of your colleagues coming from a Chinese university,
Not university.
high school, a Chinese high
Yes,
school,
also
but
high school.
in English. Yeah.
No, also high school. Because, like, for example, one of our colleagues is Italian, and she did like the exchange year during high school, and she has the diploma in Australia, and they considered it as the English certification. So, perfectly doable. Yes, you're welcome.
No other question?
Well, another thing I may add. Sorry.
There are courses, there are language courses. If you go on the website for students, I think they are free of charge. Correct? But you can take in Russian, Chinese, Spanish, German. There are a lot of courses. You don't know that. There are courses for students.
Another thing that I may add was like thinking about that I'd like to say. So one of the coolest thing about this course, in my opinion, is like the number of people that are in. Like working with a small group anyway of colleagues is what makes the course like really working anyway. Also because of the interaction with the professors and your colleagues makes work really easy, like easier, not too easy, of course.
Otherwise, if you don't have any other question, I think that there is a tour of the labs available.
One important thing, this event is all recorded, so if you miss something, you can go back on the site and watch it.
Yeah, this meeting is recorded.
Scholarships, first year, is it possible or is it not possible? This regarding ESA and this kind of stuff, the university scholarship.
But after the first, like the.
Okay, so having a scholarship like for the first year, during the first year, it's almost impossible or impossible, I think. But maybe could be possible. But anyway, there are some compensation like at the end of the first year that maybe you will receive for, of course, your average before the start of the second year.
I mean, here the suggestion is always to be in the highest level of average grade, because I mean here at Polimi it works like that. For all the scholarship and all the opportunity, actually you need to stay up with the grades. That is not impossible, actually. It's not impossible, but of course it requires a lot of working time and opportunity. And this is for scholarship. This is for accessing the master level. This is for Erasmus or MEDES program. So, I mean, at Polimi, the grades actually has a role that you may say this is say enhancing competition, but it's not like that. It's just a matter of trying to be very committed to the study program and to the courses and try to do your best. But actually, I would say I'm looking at the average of, not the average, but of the study program. It's not so bad, it's not so difficult to reach some level that will allow you to enter scholarships or any other facilities. Other? Okay. You want to add something? Otherwise we close here.
I think we can close here. Anyway, if you don't want to make questions now we will start a tour with us. So if you're still gonna be in the need of asking us some question, we're gonna be available, of course.